time. So next we have Lunell McAllister. Good morning.
Lunell McAllister, P.O. Box 2910532, Hillsborough.
Willie, my old friend, I've come on to see you, and I'm staring at your name carved in stone, and I wonder what news I could bring you. So I'll tell you about the one who made it home, Jack and his son up there in Alaska. He's flying planes the way he wanted to. Randall back in Oklahoma City. Every time we call, we always speak of you. Johnson's out in Colton, California. We're 4 hours moving kind of slow. No more than ordinary soldiers. When we took our turn so many years ago. But I remember those long days in Yakima, where we trained like it was going out of style. Through the rain and the heat, with our blistered bleeding feet, I swear you had a joke for every mile. But if this world takes little note, no long remember, there's one place where you're always standing tall. For it.
And you still have 10 more seconds, Ms. McAllister. Okay, I am going to just say right now that this is obviously a contentious issue that we're here to discuss today and take a vote on. I am going to say to both sides, in an impartial way, that I'm going to have zero tolerance for outbursts. We've had an incredible amount of outbursts during this presentation. That's not fair. I'm not going to tolerate it from either side, okay? So if this continues, I am going to begin to ask security and law enforcement staff to remove people from the chambers. Okay? I'm going to ask that you be respectful, both sides. Remain quiet when another speaker has the floor. That would include presentations. And I will, again, in an impartial way, assure that when you have the podium, that you're afforded the same level of respect that I'm asking for each and every other speaker to receive. Commissioner Higginbotham, it looks like you have some comments.
Yes, and I just want to say, since 2006, I've never seen an audience so disrespectful. And I would like for you to be respectful of both sides. It's not necessary. It's very disrespectful of the person at the podium. And you've been warned twice. This commissioner is fed up with it.
With that being said, let's get this rolling again. Let's reset the clock to, let's set it to 30 seconds. I was trying to get communications attention at about the 30-second mark. But please, ladies and gentlemen, both sides, let's be respectful of one another and let's have civil discourse today, okay? That's something that's lacking across this entire country today. So let's recognize that we can agree to disagree and that we can have civil discourse.
You had a joke for every mile. But if this world takes little note, no long remember, there's one place where you're always standing tall. For every man in company, you're more than a name on the wall.
Thank you, Ms. McAllister. Next, we have Ken Reyes. And I'm going to ask Donnie McMurray, Daniel Nelson, and H.K. Edgerton to be ready next.
Good morning. My name is Ken Reyes, living in 13521 Lake Magdalene Drive. Many are here today because hatred is a learned behavior. I'm speaking on the proposal to remove the Confederate War Memorial, and I did not have anyone fighting for either side. So why am I here? Simply put, enough is enough. More than 620,000 men and women died, and we don't want to honor them? To make my point, a story from the Bible that most of you remember, when Jesus was asked a question about the woman and whether she was an adulteress and should be cast a stone. Do you remember what she said? We should. He said, "He who is without sin cast the first stone." Remember what happened? They all walked away, one by one. So, would Jefferson Davis or Robert E. Lee be able to cast a stone? Absolutely not. Would Abraham Lincoln or Ulysses Grant be able to cast a stone? Absolutely not. Some facts of history. General William Sherman captured Atlanta on September 2nd, 1864. He did not just capture it, he burned it to the ground. He was then allowed to march the sea with a scorched earth policy that left many innocent families homeless, no crops, food, and guess what? Approved by General Grant and Abraham Lincoln. So in closing, I say it one last time. Enough is enough. Leave history alone. Instead, find some good in other people. And if there's still people that have the right, they think, to change history, they need to look at their own conscience first and then down to their hands before they start throwing any stones. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Donnie McCurry.
Good morning, Council. My name is Donnie McCurry. I'm a resident of Riverview, Florida, here in Hillsborough County. I want to start off with some names. Nathaniel H. Parrish, Freeman Drummond, Morgan James, Benjamin Goodwin, James Thomas Snow, William Drummond, Dr. Joseph Russell Snow, Jasper Aaron, Francis Marion James, Joseph Henry Jett, Levi Franklin, John Kirby Jackson. These are names of American veterans. These are men that fought bravely in the positions assigned to them by their government. I ask that this council, can you tell me, did they as American veterans do the honorable thing by defending freedom? Can you tell me if these names belong to a soldier of today or a soldier from the American Revolution? Are they Confederate or Korean War soldiers? Maybe they're Vietnam vets. Then again, they could be veterans from the War of 1812. I think it's pretty clear that here in America, an American veteran is a veteran. They deserve to be respected. American veterans deserve more respect from elected officials. To disrespect a group of American veterans is to disrespect them all. I ask that each of you support the Monuments Protection Ordinance because all veterans matter. All lives matter. We all place ourselves in danger to one degree or another when we stand up. But we place our children and grandchildren in even greater danger when we do not. I say again, veterans are veterans. It doesn't matter if it comes from the Vietnam War, the Confederate Union. It doesn't matter. A veteran deserves respect as an American veteran.
Thank you, Mr. McCurry. Next, we have Daniel Nelson.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Daniel Nelson. I live at 11532 Walter Hunter Road in Olympia. Ladies and gentlemen of Hillsborough County Commissioners, I would like to thank you for having us here today. And with that being said, I would like to ask, what would this country be like without the monuments of Mount Rushmore, South Dakota, Stone Mountain, Georgia, Thomas Jefferson, and the Vietnam Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C., and many others erased from history? I pray these things will never happen, because the call to remove Confederate monuments is only the beginning, and the removal of our Confederate monuments has become a crazed obsession for radical leftists to destroy our heritage, our history, and to erase our ancestors' memory who fought in the war between the states. This monument and many others like it have nothing to do with hate or racism, but everything to do with our history and heritage. And in conclusion, I would like to say that I strongly support the passing of a Veterans Monument Ordinance and oppose any moving or altering of any monument dedicated to American veterans of all wars. Confederate history is American history, and we must not erase our history. Thank you, and God bless Dixie.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have H.K. Edgerton, and I'm going to ask Leon Dixon, Bernard Lycand, hope I pronounced that right, and Zulima Ramos to be ready next.
Chairman White, honored members of the commission, and honored members of the public. My name is H.K. Edgerton. As a founding partner of Riverfront Development, a member of the CDC in Ashland-Buncombe County that builds affordable housing, I thank you for your wonderful work. And I remind the commission that has a mosquito bite that a black Confederate soldier, Dr. Alexander Barnes, was the first black doctor in the city of Jacksonville and the second in the state, and his work eradicated the yellow fever epidemic. God bless each and every one of you commissioners and the public, and again, thank you for having me here, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Edgerton. Next, we have Leon Dixon.
Good morning. I am Reverend Leon Dixon, Tampa, Florida, 1210 Ray Charles Boulevard. The concern about a flag, concern about the people who carry that flag. But now, it's not time for a change. It's time to just come together with love for one another. The flag has done its purpose. A lot of shamefulness, people may say. A lot of disenchantment, people may ask. But what we do now is to come together in unity and love for one another, regardless of the flag. And the statue. People look down at us, and as we walk past the statue, it can be very disenchantment and also unappealing to some of us. To others, it just may be just a generation of now I hate to say bigotry, so I won't. But let us come together, I say, and you too. Let's bring about a change of hope, a change of prosperity. Let us do that, and everything else will fall into place.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Next, we have Bernard Lyken.
Yes. I'm Bernard Lyken. I live at 3215 Carroll Grove Drive in North Carrollwood. I teach physics at the University of Tampa, and I'm an amateur student of Florida history. Commissioner Chris, down in your district, I'm speaking in favor of Commissioner Miller's proposals. In 1860, Florida had 140,000 residents. Of these, about 62,000 were black slaves, 80,000 white residents, 60,000 black residents. From the white population, about 15,000 Florida men fought for the Confederacy, and about 5,000 died. The Confederate Soldiers Monument honors their courage and sacrifice on behalf of their cause. Some white Floridians remained loyal to the United States. More than 2,000 of them enlisted in 2 Florida cavalry regiments of the United States Army. Others served in the United States Navy. Hillsborough County's monument does not honor their bravery and loyalty. More than 5,000 Florida black men escaped from slavery to the territory controlled by the United States Army in Florida and enlisted in regiments of the United States Colored Troops. These brave men fought for their freedom and that of their still enslaved brothers and sisters. Hillsborough County's monument does not honor these men for their courage, loyalty to the United States, or their cause. Across the sidewalk from the Confederate Soldiers Monument, Hillsborough County honors United States military men and women in wars beginning with the Spanish-American War. The county honors all the warriors who fought for our freedoms in those wars. Why does the county honor only white Floridians who fought for the Confederacy and does not
Thank you,
honor...
Mr. Lyken.
Thank you.
Next, we have Zulema Ramos, and I'm going to ask David McAllister, Terrence Wolf, and Kevin Wright to be ready next.
Good morning. My name is Zulema Ramos. I live at 220